1. Radio, it's coming up to 25 minutes to 2, and it's the Lunchbox with me, Gary, through until 3 p.m. this afternoon. On the line, I have Dudu Bukhatse. Hi there, Dudu. How are you doing?
I'm well, and you?
I'm well, thank you. You're a busy lady.
Thank you.
Where are you today? You in Pretoria, I believe.
Yeah, I'm having a meeting, yes.
Okay.
Doing some interviews, yes.
Okay, so you weren't expecting this interview today, so you're not in your...
Not at all.
Just to put people in the picture, you're not in your office right now. You're actually quite a way away from your office and weren't expecting this interview, so...
Yes, and I didn't bring all the facts with me, the statistics and stuff.
Okay. Now listen, you've been associated lately with the whole banning, the call to ban Lady Gaga's concert and her entry into the country and everything. And that's on behalf of the Global Christian Unity Organization.
That's right.
Okay. Tell us just briefly, just before we get to Lady Gaga, who are you? Who is the Global Christian Unity Organization? What do you do? What do you stand for?
All right. We were inspired in 2009 to unite Christians all over the world, because these are the end times. Mm-hmm. And we need to make sure that when Christians are united, they're able to deal with the issues as a united front or force. Okay. So that more souls are kept in kingdom, but also they are given information and they are empowered in time to know that when they make a decision whether to not receive Christ or to receive Christ, they are fully informed.
Okay.
So what is tended to happen is that most churches are diverse in their teachings. Some traditional churches did not teach people about even the Holy Spirit, and that the power you have is so big. Once you've received Christ, you receive the Holy Spirit. Some don't even know why it's so important to receive the Holy Spirit. Okay. So the purpose of all this is to empower our people so that people can make informed decisions, having been fully equipped with the knowledge that they need to know about Jesus Christ and why it's important to receive salvation. Okay,
but now you must understand as well, obviously, that you deal with a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, and not everybody's going to agree with you all the time.
Correct, we expect that.
But you need to, you're saying what we need as Christians is to be educated. We need to know about the dangers out there. We need to know about the stuff that needs dealing with. And one of the issues at the moment is Lady Gaga, who has a tour to South Africa at the end of this month, and you guys have been calling for it to be stopped. And does that include her as well? You don't want her entering the country at all?
No.
Why?
We do not hate her. We love her. We wish she could just. She has made a decision. She was a Catholic. She was brought up a Catholic, but she has decided to take a path which promotes satanic things or messaging. Okay. And we're just saying, keep to yourself, keep that to yourself, but don't spread that. It's almost like, when you know that there is a danger coming in and already there's a fire in your house, mm-hmm. and the child is coming with a lamp with another fire or petrol, you cannot allow them to come and add more to that. Yeah. That's the principle. It's saying, please, we have enough already with that we're dealing with. It's a very young democracy. We have a history where our youth have not really caught up this new democracy. They have caught the wrong end of it. They need a lot of education. Okay. They are not educated enough. They don't have enough information. Okay. They don't have access. I'm talking the majority. I'm not talking the privileged few. Mm-hmm. I'm talking the majority of our population. Okay. So we find that they are vulnerable and gullible to copying any role model. And Lady Gaga, who is Stephanus by real name, is a role model. They will copy anything she says. Okay. And we haven't given the parents of this country yet a chance to even get informed themselves about what are the dynamics they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. How do they need to bring up their children? We're having a lot of other issues, even socioculturally, to just bring up the child in the way they should go. Many people have not even got onto that because there's now this advent of a parent has to go to work and hardly having time to teach children the values in the whole. We're trying to implement programs about that.
Okay.
There's a growth in Satanism in schools. We're having to be called as churches to go and cast out these demons. And we come with this message, which is just going to make us lose control of what's going on.
Okay. Why Lady Gaga, though? Why just her? There are bands and artists coming into the country all the time. Why hasn't there been a call to stop them?
It's interesting because I think it's become very noticeable. I think there was a time when we didn't know that there's a lot of it until Lady Gaga was mentioned, and there was an email circulating with her imagery. And she's very talented. She's very, very talented. She's an amazing voice. She's very creative. But it's sort of misplaced. And what has happened is that because she has such a large following, I think she caught attention. And she was the one that really caught the biggest attention for us in the faith. That's probably why. It's not because it's personal against her.
Okay.
But it's a principle. It's a spirit that we're saying we are saying no to.
Okay, I need to ask you about the quoting you. Okay, the whole issue of the fact that she's a self-confessed Satanist. It's not just you that has said that. Many people have actually stated that, and I've seen that in print a number of times as well. But what people are asking, and I know you had an interview last week as well somewhere else, and there was a little bit of friction with it, because some people felt that in that particular interview that maybe you weren't prepared well enough, and others felt that maybe you were badgered and you weren't given the chance to explain what you were actually saying. So I'm going to give you the chance to sort of explain, what did you mean by self-confessed Satanist?
Thank you very, very much. I really, really appreciate it. You know, last year, one of our colleagues in our trust shared with us that she watched an Mnet program. She wanted to know, what is this Gaga about? And she watched an Mnet broadcast of a show she performed in the U.S. And she actually said she sold her heart to the devil. She said in a concert, it's recorded. And she also, I never used to listen to this music, and I never wanted to know. But because of the badgering that happened last week, I did my homework this last weekend. And what I found is that she has a song where she says she loves Judas. And if you look at the video, you see that she's on a motorbike riding with somebody who is wearing a crown, okay, the crown of Jesus Christ, which is the holy crown. And while she's doing that, other bikers are passing by, and she sees Peter. She looks at Peter, but she turns and she sees Judas coming, and she starts admiring this Judas. And when she arrives at this final destination, she turns away from Jesus. She falls in love with this Judas. And the things that just manifest after that, it's like a mockery to Jesus Christ, because we know what that crown means. We know what the crown of thorns is, which is Jesus Christ. So she's got this satire. You know, it's very subtle, but it's you can tell what it is. There's another one where she wears a nun's garment, and she lies down, and she then sings but lies down, and then a ghostly face comes out of this nun's garment. And now I understood why some nations have actually said she's mocking Jesus Christ and God. Because the way she just uses it's called sacrilege. You know, she uses the elements that are communicated positively in Christianity. She twists them and reverses that to use them in an opposite application. So it is in a way blasphemy. It's sacrilege, and it's touching on to the core of our beliefs, of our belief system, our value system as a nation. And the concern is that we are 35 million Christians in South Africa who I think deserve some kind of respect. If she was singing a song without mocking Jesus Christ, I don't think we would have an issue.
Do you know what the challenge is, or do we know that as Christians. We can see it. I'm sitting here with the words of Alejandro in front of me, and I know what your views are on that, on the translation of Jesus and Holy Spirit and God. We know that as Christians, and it offends us deeply. But a non-Christian or somebody who is not sort of active in the faith, so to speak, is not going to know that. So that's a challenge for us. How do we get over that to get this sort of message across to a non-Christian without maybe sounding judgmental or whatever?
Yes, I think that's what I've been praying for. Thank you very much for raising this, because I've been wishing that we could have some media platforms where we can teach, rather than have this approach of saying no to Gaga, but to teach. But what I've found very frustrating lately, and I'm thankful because there is some media who are positive about fair teaching, and give everyone a platform to share their message and their belief and their value system without necessarily imposing their own or mocking fun or poking fun at someone else's belief. Because that is what has happened with Gaga here. She's literally almost poked at us. She's instigating the animosity. She shouldn't have touched that approach. If she wants to come to South Africa, she shouldn't even sing those kinds of songs here. It means she's taking us for granted as a nation, like we don't think.
And I think it's showing in the state of the world as well, the whole moral decline and the disrespect that there is for different. I mean, take other religions. I'm not going to mention them now, but there are many other faiths and other religions. If you say stuff bad about them, by tonight you history.
Oh, and I know the Muslims. They will just you'll be big trouble. There's a war. Touch Muhammad, you'll be in trouble. Why are we allowing Jesus Christ to be treated like he's not worth any respect? We cannot. And Christianity doesn't say that we should take things lying down and let the devil just play around with us.
No.
It's like the devil wants to bring a disease onto your body, and you know that you can say no to that disease. You can say, devil, back off. You know that the Bible does teach that. You know that people have received healings because they have said no to the devil's sickness. So why should I say yes when you are coming into my territory? It's like my body. It's like you want to enter my body. And you say to me, I want to bring my disease to you because it's a democratic country. It doesn't work like that.
So where to from here? What happens now? I know you had a march last week. How was that supported? Did it go well?
Look, the challenge, the beauty about it was that there was a lot of media coverage, and the department did come to receive the memorandum. We've asked for a response. We're going to revisit that and ask them to give us a response by a certain date because we just said it's urgent. But the other thing is we are planning to do something similar in Cape Town through other groups as well. And I hear something is happening this weekend in Durban through another group who are doing a musical awards, the music award. I'm going to talk to the bishop there. But what we're going to do then is we're going to lobby the nation to be as conscious that, okay, if we cannot stop it, that is, if we cannot stop it, right? Because we are saying it's a democratic country. At least let's raise a consciousness. Let's raise an awareness that this is dangerous stuff. Children should not sing a song that says, don't call my name by implication. Don't call my name, telling God or Jesus not to call their name. It's a beautiful song, but it's a very harmful song to the spirit. It's like selling a soul to the enemy. And it's a consciousness that we need to raise. The second thing is we've had youths who didn't know when they bought the tickets that she is actually a Satanist. She's a satanic worshiper because the symbols are very obvious. If you're a child of God, you don't do the things that she's playing with. They are very dangerous. So children need to be taught, or youth need to be taught. Then many youth don't know. I spoke, by the way, to a youth after even Sunday. We had a radio interview with 702 as well, and they were also a bit too quick, to cut off. That one of the youths, they were asking me on the station, how do you prove that music is the one that's causing the demonic spirits in schools? And I couldn't even finish answering that, and they cut me off. And I shared this with one of the youth at church that morning, and he said he has all the evidence about the Illuminati. He's done a lot of research, how they work on this music. They sacrifice the music before it goes out, so that to any listener that hears this music, it takes their soul. It absorbs them. Already they are taken.
Yeah.
You know. So even me, to be honest with you, as a Christian, I couldn't believe it. I when I listened to this music, I was drained on Sunday. I had to pray.
Yeah.
I had to pray. I was feeling so exhausted. I couldn't even, I didn't have energy. It was zapping me, And these are spiritual things that we need to be aware of. So what I'm saying is we need to just educate as many people as possible. Talk on air. Let's have discussion. Let's bring the youth in to talk, because this guy said he wants to share this on air. If he can go on air and share with the youth, because you see, the youth maybe need to hear from another youth.
Quite right. And where is he? Where is he based? Is he in Gerber?
In Joburg.
Okay. I'll get in touch with you afterwards. We can chat about that. But music is really powerful, Dudu. Wasn't Satan head of music in heaven?
Yes.
So when he was kicked out of heaven, it kind of makes sense in my little brain that he would try as much as possible to sort of affect the world through music. It makes sense.
Yes,
and the thing that I've learned sort of over many years, I love music. I've always loved music.
Yes.
I can hear a song on the radio that I heard the last time when I was a teenager. Maybe I haven't heard it since then, and all of a sudden I know the words. The words are there. They come back to me. So I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. There is power in music, whether people want to admit that or not. The power is there, and there are negative messages and there are positive messages. And if we are Christians, for a Christian, for a person of faith, I think we do need to guard ourselves against lyrics that go against what we believe. So,
absolutely.
So I get what you're saying. How can we end this? Where do we go from here? Is there a petition or anything?
Can we do more interviews for the youth, especially? Can we bring youth on air?
We can do that. We can chat about that. Like I say, I'll speak to you off air about that. I'll contact you again,
great.
And then we can set up something.
The second thing we need to do, we are going to go to the embassy, the United States Embassy. We're going to approach the South African Embassy in U.S. and U.S. Embassy here. We see Christians, we are not violent, so we're not going to involve, for example, the Muslims. If we wanted to, we would, and they would be very violent and intimidated. We don't want it to be like that. We want to say to them, look here, we are saying no to our territory, and if we're saying no, we need to be respected as a country with a mind. We do not want Gaga to come here. So we want to lobby as many Christians. In fact, what happened at the march is that many Christians didn't know. They only discovered it when it was on air, and they kept saying, who could have come? Many churches wanted to come to the march. They don't know about it. And we need the media to raise the awareness that we are doing these activities. If this woman comes, at least we want to say on the 29th, which is the day before the show, or on the 30th, we're all going to gather and pray, near the place where she's going to be performing, like Nazareth. Others want to come and pray, and pray for the nation of South Africa, because we really cannot afford to lose this democracy. And the democracy was won through prayers by the churches.
It was.
And Bishop
And we forget that. We forget that in tough times. Democracy was won largely as a result of prayer and the Christians coming together in prayer.
And Reverend Shikane was in prison for it. And, many Christians, and the Christian platform was used a lot by politicians so that we could send the message home. And prayers is what got us to where we are now. We are detaching ourselves from that, disconnecting from the source. Yep. We need to raise an awareness that this nation, if we are not careful, we will lose that democracy.
Yep. Okay.
Because once God turns away from this whole thing, it's going to just go the other way. Somebody else is going to come into power and say, nonsense, this democracy is not working.
Yeah. What's that verse in Chronicles? What's that verse in Chronicles? If my people who are called by my name.
My name.
Yes, that's us. In other words, that's the Christians.
I will hear them. Yes.
I will hear them.
And I'll honor them.
And I will heal their land.
And I'll heal their land. Exactly.
And that's what we need.
was healed by that. Because we called unto God.
Yep. Dudu, we've run out of time, but it's been fascinating. Thank you so much for chatting to us, and I will be in touch and we'll chat again. We'll chat some more, and we'll get the youth involved as well.
Gary, just on a parting note, we need to also observe in our democracy that this freedom of expression is being overemphasized and actually disadvantaging other rights to life, to equality, to access to information. How many youths have access to this information that we have right now about the Lady Gaga concert? They have is a radio and television. And what they hear, they feed on it, they take it as gospel, and they move. So they don't have access to the internet to do research like we are doing now.
Yeah.
So is this really fair? And are we being an equal society? We are not. Therefore, the question that's being raised now in some circles is democracy democratic? It's a risk we are taking if we just allow a free-for-all country, because somehow there's going to be an imbalance.
Quite right. So we need to stand together. We need to stand together and work together and pull together. Dudu, we'll chat again, but thank you so much.
I really thank you, Gary.
That's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank you
very much. God
Thanks.
bless you.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.